My name is Brianne Breelish, and I am the owner and founder of the Fingerless Kitchen. And like Don said, I was in social work for 11 years on the west side of Syracuse. And, you know, for me, that was what I went to school for. It was my passion. Helping people was what I always wanted to do. And then it got to be too much. You know, too much sadness, too much hardship. I got completely burnt out. You know, so burnt out that I didn't recognize who I was anymore. And that's no way to live life. So I feel like I did good work, but I lost myself. And before I forget, thank you all for inviting me here. And to Kristen, too, for reaching out to me. I have a little something for her. So if anybody sees her soon, I'll give that to you. But yeah, I got so burnt out, and I didn't recognize myself anymore. And I needed a way out, and I needed a change. But, you know, I was stuck in that uncomfortable, comfy, you know, space, my comfort zone, right? It was a steady job. I have money. I have 2 kids. I need to keep paying for their lives, right? You know, they eat. My 2 boys, they like to eat. And, you know, we wanted to continue a way of life, but I couldn't keep going on the way I was. So, as it usually does, I had an idea. I was looking on Pinterest, and I found all these beautiful cheese boards. And the cheese boards just looked so great, and I really wanted to eat one. And I just thought, hey, I could make a business out of that. And then it just went from there. So it was kind of, you know, I got this idea in January. I did nothing for a little while, and I had a chance to test it out in March at my son's school. And everybody loved it, and everybody wanted to know who catered it. And I was like, okay, there's a good sign for me. Who catered it? And then I said, I did. I didn't have a business yet, but I said I catered it. Because why not, right? You know, because what's my next step? So the next day, I actually saw a parent from my son's class. And she's like, what did you say you were doing? And I said, oh, you know, I'm going to create these, like, cheese boards, right? And she says, you can go look at the Wise Women's Business Center in Syracuse. I've lived here my whole life. Didn't know it was around for 10 years. And I went to SU, and they're part of SU School of Management. So how could I have never known that this was part of Syracuse? So I did. I took a chance. I filled out their applications, and I met with a coach there and just said, here's what I'm looking to do. I had no plans, nothing, just a dream and a hope that I could go somewhere and make my life better. So I did, and it's been kind of a wild ride for me because, you know, there was always this thing. My parents were psychologists, clinical psychologists, and it was you help people, you help people, you help people. And then I was taking a shift going, I'm not helping people, I'm feeding people, right? And so it was a lot of hard stuff for me. But I did it, and I've been collecting my allies, finding people who have my back, who are ready to support me, who can bring me knowledge and understanding of areas I don't really know much about. And, you know, they've really been there to hold me up, even when I feel like I couldn't do it. So, my tasting boards, so you all know, they're all local based, and they're from everything from New York State, and then I serve them up, wooden boards, any event or occasion. I talk to you about pairings and what's special about where, like, the cheeses have come from or the charcuterie have come from and all of that. And so it's really quite an experience, and it's really tasty too. And I'll tell you a little bit more about my name, the Fingerless Kitchen. And I was born with a condition called ectrodactyly ectodermal dysplasia. It's a really, really big name, but in the end, it means I have one finger. And it's the same for my feet. So when I'm standing here talking to you, you can just imagine that you're standing on, like, ice skates. You've got that one line, and that's how I'm standing. That's how I walk. That's how I do everything, is I stand just like this. So I get a little wobbly, so you see me shifting sometimes. And so I've loved cooking since I was 8 years old. I've watched my dad cook, and my dad was a good inspiration for this. My father was in a wheelchair, and he was in an accident when he was 20. He broke the 2nd vertebrae in his back, so he was a quadriplegic. But my father cooked in the kitchen for all 10 of us kids. My parents adopted 10 children, different races, different abilities, different age range. I'm one of the babies. So, you can imagine I've got some pretty older siblings on my side, but I saw him cook every day of my life from his wheelchair, having, trouble with his dexterity, but he did it. And he managed to cook great food that meant something to him, to his family. So I just watched him, and I began to learn and copy him and do. And I really found out that the Fingerless Kitchen was me, was what I loved, and it's my everyday reality because I had to teach myself how to do things, right? My father could show me how he did it, but I've never had anybody else in my life that looked like me. I mean, you can look around the room, and everybody has, 5 fingers. Mostly, sometimes there's other stuff. But really, I've never had anybody else like me in my entire life. So, as much as I could look to my father to teach me things, I really had to figure out how to do them on my own. And so that's kind of where I get creative with stuff. And so that's why the Fingerless Kitchen is me. And I want to bring that out to the world and show you that, you can do anything. Recently, the Fingerless Kitchen is kind of undergoing some changes. And I'm still doing catering, and this has really been my catalyst to propel me forward. And I didn't realize it at the time that when I thought about doing a cookbook, like 7 years ago, called the Fingerless Kitchen, and then I created this, I didn't know where I was going. But underlying all of that, I've really wanted to reach out with people with disabilities and help them learn how to cook, to help them create that independence and find something they love, because cooking is something we all have to do, and it takes practice. Sometimes it takes guidance if you have different things getting in your way. Like mine, I've got to figure out how to hold a knife or hold a cheese grater, and usually my body helps me become my third hand. So in the last week, which is really exciting for me, the idea of helping people with disabilities learn how to cook has taken a step forward. So I'm going to do that, and I'm looking to actually start my own TV show to actually bring people on with disabilities, teach them how to cook, bring awareness to the specific community that's there, and bring actual acceptance and bring these people out of the shadows. Because for my 11 years in social work, I hid in the shadows. I needed to become like everybody else. Because once you get out of school, those support systems are gone. They're gone. You get support systems for your disability, but they don't support you when you get to your job. And so you get the words like, what's wrong with you? Why can't you keep up? I'm like, well, I can't keep up. I have like 90% paperwork to do in my business, and this doesn't cut it. It doesn't cut it for me tapping like two buttons at a time going, I can't keep up. There's 90% paperwork in social work, and I just can't do it. But did they offer me things to help me with my disability when I asked? No. I just had to kind of blend in, do the best that I could, and it wasn't enough. So I'm here creating a business that is perfect for me and that will spread love to everybody in the world. And so I am starting my video series on YouTube first, and then I'm going to take it out forward, and I'm going to bring it to a larger scale. And I have some people so far to help me get there. And I really hope it works. And the other part of all of this is I also want to help people with disabilities start their own businesses. So if they think they have an idea, they want to go somewhere, they can start a business that fits their special needs and what they want to do and have passion for, instead of going into a place that doesn't care about your needs. You just have to do what they want you to do, and that's it. And if you can't do it, you're out. That's no way to live. So we're going to bring everybody out of the shadows like I've pulled myself out, and give them a future, and give them somebody who represents who they are and brings humanity to their condition and shows them as just people trying to make it in the world. So, I hope some of you will follow me along on what I'm doing, because I'm at the very beginning. I've been doing my catering for a little over a year. This next step is where my heart lies. Okay? And so I just hope that it all works out and we can really make something. You know, I'll see me on TV showing you how I cook in the kitchen, and then really going to that next level of cooking show, because it won't be like a cooking show that is, you know, the ones you see on the Food Network and all those other channels. This is something different. And so I hope you'll all join me and follow my passion and come join the Fingerless Kitchen.